Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with Will, a young man with a keen interest in American history. He has abandoned his studies and sets out to explore America, particularly a village named Butcher Crossing in 1874. Fascinated by the booming buffalo skin business in the area, Will takes a room and approaches the biggest buffalo skin dealer in town. He reveals his identity as the son of a former friend of the dealer, expressing his desire to understand American life. The dealer, pleased to meet his friend's son, informs Will about an ongoing protest and the challenging circumstances in the village. Will clarifies that he isn't seeking employment, but is intrigued by the buffalo hunting process. The dealer warns him about the hardships involved, but Will insists that it's his passion. Later, Will encounters Miller, a seasoned buffalo hunter, at a bar. Recognizing Miller as an experienced and formidable figure in buffalo hunting, Will expresses his eagerness to join him on a hunting expedition. Miller, sensing Will's true intentions, invites him to sit beside him, setting the stage for their future endeavors. As the bar owner brings a drink to Miller, he shares that he had discussed the plan with the buffalo skin dealer, who unequivocally declined. Miller confirms this, acknowledging the dealer's reluctance. Curious about their next hunting destination, Will inquires about Miller's upcoming expedition. Miller reveals that their journey will lead them to a mountainous region after a week, teeming with thousands of wild buffaloes. However, the expedition requires substantial resources, costing around $600. Will, driven by passion rather than monetary concerns, expresses his readiness for the mission, emphasizing that money holds no value for him. Miller, appreciating Will's commitment, shakes hands with him, sealing the deal. Later in the evening, amidst a festive atmosphere at the bar, Will returns. The bar's owner informs him of the positive impression he left and the peculiar feeling he invoked in others. Despite the jovial atmosphere, Will decides to depart, leaving the lively celebration behind. The next day at the bar, Miller introduces Will to his two companions. Gesturing towards one, he says, "This is my partner, Skinner. After the buffalo hunt, he specializes in skinning the animals." The second companion is their cook, responsible for preparing meals during the journey. Skinner cautions Miller about the challenges of the mountainous area they plan to hunt, emphasizing its long and perilous route fraught with dangers such as storms, robberies, and ravages. Despite the risks, Miller is optimistic about the immense benefits of the venture, given the abundance of buffaloes in the thousands. Skinner negotiates a fee of $60 for his services, independent of any potential profits from the venture, a deal to which both Will and Miller agree. Later in the afternoon, Miller and Skinner embark on the hunting expedition. With Miller leading the way, the group progresses with their belongings. Along the journey, they pause to hunt, and the cook prepares a meal to satiate their hunger, providing a brief respite for the weary travelers. The next day, as they resume their journey, Skinner begins to sense that Miller is forgetting the way. Despite this concern, they continue following him. The arduous journey stretches on for many days until they reach a house, only to discover a lifeless body inside, causing unease among the group. In the desert, a woman on a horse-drawn carriage seeks help, but Miller coldly rejects her plea. Will urges compassion, sensing the woman's vulnerability, but Miller remains firm. The woman, brandishing a gun, is warned by Miller to leave, and she departs. Skinner explains to Will that such women are known to be thieves and killers. Miller appears disoriented, and Skinner confronts him about forgetting the way. Miller denies it, asserting his knowledge of the terrain. However, the group faces a water shortage ahead, posing a significant challenge. Fatigue and thirst take a toll on their well-being, especially Will, who collapses into a pond. As Will struggles, Miller encourages him to stay with the group, emphasizing the risk of getting lost. After replenishing their water supply, the group continues, nearing the mountain area. They overcome the challenging terrain, pushing their carts and luggage uphill. Upon reaching their destination, where thousands of people reside, Bonsu is spotted. Despite exhaustion, Bonsu suggests resting before hunting. Miller, however, insists on preparing for the hunt the next day. When asked by Will about his passion for hunting despite uncertainties and risks, Miller remains silent for the moment, leaving the question unanswered. The next day, Miller begins the preparation for hunting Bonsu, meticulously filling bullets with a potent mixture of gunpowder and poison. Intrigued, Will observes the process with keen interest. Miller explains that hunting Bonsu is challenging, requiring considerable effort, especially in filling the bullets with poison. The danger of the hunting area is something Miller relishes, making the endeavor a thrilling game. As they arrive at a location teeming with thousands of Bonsu, Miller takes aim and shoots. Although the buffalo is hit, it manages to run away. Thinking Miller missed the target, Will expresses surprise. Miller, confident in his skills, assures Will that he never misses a target. However, as Will watches, he suddenly falls unconscious due to the effects of the poison. Unfazed, Miller continues to target and hunt multiple buffaloes, creating a pile of corpses. Recovering, Will decides to join in the hunt, and together they take down numerous buffaloes, finding joy in the exhilarating experience. While Skinner starts the task of removing the skins from the buffalo corpses, he also begins teaching Will the process. In the following days, as they collect the buffalo skins, Will notices something peculiar. When the cook is preparing meals for Skinner, he consistently adds something to the food. Although it strikes him as odd, he chooses to ignore it for the time being. As they sit together one night, Will suggests to Miller that it might be time to leave, but Miller vehemently refuses, asserting that the hunt has just begun, and there's much more to accomplish. Skinner's health takes a downturn, experiencing severe stomach pain after each meal. The next day, despite Will's own struggle with his health, he embarks on his first solo hunt. However, the endeavor is marred by blood in his mouth, indicative of his deteriorating condition. Undeterred, they continue hunting a substantial number of buffaloes, and Skinner perseveres in skinning them. Will, concerned about their well-being, proposes leaving the area. Miller, angered by the suggestion, asserts his authority, declaring that he alone will decide when they depart. In defiance, he intensifies the hunt, taking down numerous buffaloes and collecting their skins. The relentless pace continues, with about 100 buffaloes hunted each day. As days pass, Skinner's health worsens due to severe stomach pain, a consequence of something the cook adds to his food. Will's health also deteriorates, compounded by his yearning for the people and places he left behind. Vivid memories of his sister being hunted haunt him. Despite the physical and emotional toll, they remain in the hunting grounds for 3 weeks, trapped in a relentless cycle of pursuit and suffering. One night, Skinner voices his concern, pointing out that they've been in the area for 3 weeks when the original plan was only 1 week for hunting. Miller, reacting with intense anger, shouts at Skinner, telling him not to say much and insists they are not leaving. He dismisses Skinner's worry about reaching their village in 3 weeks, confidently stating that it won't be an issue. Skinner, frustrated by Miller's insistence on staying and hunting every buffalo, accuses him of madness. Miller, equally enraged, silences Skinner abruptly, taking drastic measures by killing him and throwing him down. Turning to Will, Miller declares that Skinner was right, asserting that they cannot leave until the hunting is complete. In Miller's unwavering determination, the original plan and concerns about time and leaving are overridden by his singular focus on the hunt. The next day, Miller resumes the hunt, and the ground is littered with numerous buffalo carcasses. Moving ahead, he announces his intention to continue the hunt, estimating around 200 buffaloes in the vicinity. Witnessing Miller's relentless pursuit, Will becomes increasingly concerned, perceiving Miller's obsession as madness. He expresses his worry about Miller's single-minded focus on the hunt. As Miller shoots at buffaloes from a distance, one particularly agile buffalo dashes away, prompting Miller to pursue. Frustrated by the escape, Miller vents his anger by throwing things at his companions. Suddenly, snow begins to fall from the sky, signaling the onset of winter. The weather rapidly deteriorates into a snowstorm, prompting the group to hastily pack their belongings. Caught off guard by the sudden cold, Will's health worsens, and Miller, realizing his condition, places him under the buffalo skins for warmth and protection. The harsh winter takes its toll on Will, contributing to his deteriorating health. The storm rages on for an extended period until, finally, it subsides, marking the end of the prolonged and brutal snowstorm. As they prepare to leave, Miller emphasizes the need for a fire to combat the cold. They quickly light a fire, and Miller reiterates his earlier warning about the winter setting in, emphasizing the difficulty of moving forward in the snow. Will suggests they can still attempt to leave, but Miller dismisses the idea, stating that the snow would impede their progress, and they must wait for winter to pass. Despite the hardships, Miller continues hunting, bringing buffalo to the camp. Skinner, after taking cocaine, experiences worsening stomach pain. Days pass, and Miller remains relentless in his pursuit of buffaloes. The next day, when Will arrives at the camp, he sees a buffalo standing before him that wasn't there before, adding an eerie and unexpected element to their already challenging situation. In a moment of confusion, Will mistakenly believes he sees a buffalo that isn't actually there, a figment of his imagination induced by the strain of their challenging journey. Frustrated and disturbed by the relentless winter, Will contemplates when the season will finally come to an end. In his agitated state, Skinner, already suffering from stomach pain, confronts the cook about the medicine he had been mixing in his food. Discovering the truth, Skinner ingests the medicine and tragically succumbs to its effects. Skinner reveals the cook's betrayal to them before his demise, recounting the intentional poisoning. Distraught, they bury him the next morning, mourning the loss of their companion. With the arrival of spring, they resume their journey through the mountains, aiming for Butter's Crossing to seek fortune and prosperity. However, navigating a ravine proves treacherous due to the height difference, resulting in a tragic accident. The horse separates from their cart, causing the cart to plunge into the ravine, leaving Miller and Will profoundly saddened by the untimely loss. The next day, Will sets out on his journey, with the mission of delving deeper into his quest to understand America. It is noted that in America, there were initially around 60 million buffalo, but extensive hunting has drastically reduced their population, leaving only about 300 buffaloes. The impact of relentless hunting has been profound on the once thriving buffalo population.